Hello and welcome to a new season of Elevator Pitch. We have a new setting. We're no longer in the studio anymore.
Yeah, because studios cost money.
Exactly, and
And we don't have it.
You're still not paying us any, so we couldn't afford to
We're
keep
still
going
doing
to the
this
studio.
podcast out of the goodness of our hearts.
Exactly. But the setting is not the only thing that is new because, as always, you have me, Altair.
And me, Hazel.
But remember that guy who used to crash?
That random guy who would just pop in out of nowhere for like one episode.
Exactly. And you were like, what the hell's
Who
happening?
is this guy?
Exactly.
What's he doing here?
Well, Andres Hagedorn. Hello, Andres.
Hello.
You'll be with us
me.
more often now, won't you?
Exactly. He will no longer just be a guest. He will be part of the Elevator Pitch family. So welcome, Andres.
Thank you. I hope you're paying me for this.
We can only pay with sex, man, and you don't want that.
Okay.
Food and sex,
fine.
that's the only payment we have.
That's fine.
So for this first episode of the second season of Elevator Pitch, we thought that we would talk about underrated animated films. So each of us chose a film from their childhood that they thought is underrated, that more people should talk about it, should see. And we're going to talk a little bit about them. And also another change that we wanted to mention is that at the end of each episode, we're going to have a throwback section in which we're going to talk about the past. Because the past was better.
Wasn't it better in
yes,
the past,
it definitely
folks?
was.
Exactly. So we're gonna adapt the throwback section to the film that we're gonna be discussing during the episode. For today, I thought because while we were watching Rango, Hazel, who has very strong opinions about the film,
Ooh, interesting.
said I think like when I told her that it won the Oscar.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, did it won
Wow.
best animated
Best
picture,
animated
I think.
film.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't that good.
Thank you.
So
No, it
I
was good,
thought,
it was
to be honest, for me, it was also very surprising when it won, when it actually won. So I want you to think about what other animated films came out in 2011 when Rango came out. You don't have to tell me now. At the end, you're going to give me your guess. And I'm going to tell you what films came out that year, what other animated films came out that year, and we're going to see if we would have given the Oscar to another film. I know Hazel would have definitely,
would have
even
done.
if it's just like crap. Maybe if it's just like...
Oh, boy.
And to which one would have you given the Oscar to? Okay? Okay, so here is my elevator pitch for Rango.
Cool.
So,
Go for it.
a stone actor wannabe lizard ends up in the desert where his delusions of greatness make him get in the middle of a water-related conflict.
Ooh.
So the 5 reasons why I think you should like Hazel, you should like
Me personally,
no, what I think people should like the movie or could like the movie is that it's very cinematic. If you like filmmaking in general, I think you will really appreciate.
Don't you like filmmaking, Hazel? What?
don't you like
What's
art?
wrong with you?
Oh, boy.
Because I think the animation is really nice. I think like the landscapes are like it looks like it had been shot like if it was live action. It's really good colors and landscapes. I think it's for me that the cinematography was quite impressive. Then we have it mixes grown-up messed up humor with more innocent
Which
jokes.
is always a winner with you.
Exactly.
No, but I agree with that. I think, I think a movie for kids should also be good for adults. I find like
Thank you, Andres. Also, I think there are a lot of film references. I think, like we were discussing that yesterday when we watched the film, that I think this is a movie for like filmmaker parents or people, or like parents that really like. There are like really geeky, artsy kind of films that would appreciate all these kind of Easter eggs that they throw. So if you are that kind of person, I think this is a film that you would really think, that's so cool that a kids film has all this, RC film Easter eggs. I think it's really nice that it applies some of the Western genre into a kids film. It's also something that you don't really see that often, that this more kind of like grown-up genres get introduced into kids films. So I think that's a really nice way to start showing children, look, this is also what cinema is.
Yeah.
And I was surprised actually by some of the more, the movie is for kids, but it has things, for example, like characters smoking, like cigarettes. It's like, that's very weird.
That actually
you told me.
I mentioned this to Hazel because we were doing a little bit of research yesterday, and like apparently like an organization in the U.S. complained that there were too many characters smoking.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Like it's I think it's cool. Like I don't know, you can't have a Western without people smoking. Like,
but it's kind of like, now that I think about it, it's kind of, I don't know if hypocrite is the right word, but in Alice in Wonderland, you have the little caterpillar who's also smoking.
But it's like a water pipe.
Or is it?
But
it's like a bong. I don't know.
Well, kids know the difference.
It's a bit more healthy, I guess. I don't know. I don't
even
know.
If it's filled with weed, okay. And
those were other times. Those were like the 40s or something.
Yeah. And then my final reason is that you have in the film you have a mature-ish plot plus the perks of animation. I think you have like a story that adults would enjoy, can follow, but also you don't have the restraints maybe that live action has, and you can have like this a little bit more free room as an spectator. And those are my 5 reasons for why I think people should like Rango.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna agree with you.
I'm excited to see this debate.
I don't know, like I think I was just confused as to, I don't know, like you say, it's very, I would say, niche in a way, because like the animation style, like the design of the characters is
ugly.
A bit off. Yeah, off-putting. I was
like
going to say off-putting, but yeah,
disgusting.
pretty ugly. And and I guess like the humor, and I don't know, like you're saying, it's very cinematic, and I guess a lot of that would go over kids' heads initially. So I don't know. I found myself wondering who this movie was for, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I think it's like you said, like a very niche kind of audience, because I do think that this is the perfect movie for like a Quentin Tarantino who has a kid and who wants to take him to see a kid's film, but he still wants to kind of inject him with the cinema bug. So I think this is very precise. I know there is not a film for everyone. I know it's not something that a lot of people would want their kids to watch.
Yeah, this is, I think, definitely a movie that's aimed towards adults. Like, I really think like if a kid likes it, that's fine. But it's more for adults. Like, it's I mean, it has some things that kids like action and comedy. But like, I don't know, it's just how it looks. It's like, I don't know, not your typical child's movie. It's I don't know. I didn't think it was for kids.
Yeah. I just kind of felt like, I mean, at least for young kids, like I would say these creatures will give you nightmares.
Yeah, no,
And
I think it definitely.
Things like this character who like he has this trauma about his dad falling drunk into like a mine shaft, and then she's like so traumatized that she like just sometimes like
Freezes.
paralyzes it herself, like she just
Yeah.
flips out, and like it's like so weird in a kids movie, like
Yeah, but I think it's definitely not for little kids. I think if like any kid would like it, would be more into like
it would be a very
11,
weird
12,
kid. I have to say.
12-ish.
Exactly, the
Like,
weirdos.
the weird kids,
The
the quiet kids would like it.
But then you have, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's not as weird. But you have something like The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is also kind of like a messed up
Yeah.
film. Like the characters are not that pretty either.
But I feel like they're weird looking, but they're more appealing. Like I feel like in this movie they really look like just awful. They're like old and like wrinkled and like just disgusting. And I don't know. I feel like in that movie they're bizarre looking, but the designs are much more like appealing. I find. I don't know.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. I guess Nightmare Before Christmas has like a certain charm to it, and also it's like a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about Christmas. Like,
yeah.
It's a Christmas movie.
And I feel maybe it's like
a Halloween movie.
that's up for that's the next debate.
What is it though?
But I feel like because the animation is so like the animation itself is really good and it's really detailed, but I think because there's so much detail, that's why it's more off-putting to me. I think.
Yeah, I think it like the realism is a little bit too real.
It's too much. It's too real.
Yeah, I think especially with the landscapes, some shots of the landscapes seem like they are live action.
Yeah.
But I mean, because they were also like very wide shots and stuff. But I think, I mean, I watched this film when I was what? I don't know. Oh yeah, I was an old lady. I was what, 19? Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I was 19, so I was already an
2011,
adult.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this movie came out like later. It's not really from our childhood. I guess maybe your childhood.
Exactly. Hazel is really, really young.
Yeah, 2011. How old was I? I was 14. So
Yeah, you
That's
were a
still
teen.
childhood, I guess.
no, yes, 14.
Yeah. Well, but let's dive into the plot.
The plot. Let's go for it.
Yay! So, the film starts and we encounter...
It's already filled me with existential dread, I'll be honest.
exactly, because we see Rango, who is kind of staging a scene somewhere. We don't know exactly where. He is supposed to be a hero saving a damsel in distress. And it like
the damsel in distress being like a decapitated Barbie.
Yeah, it's the torso of a Barbie, and
a naked torso of a Barbie.
Yeah, and I think like the and exactly a naked torso of a Barbie.
Is that a commentary on like objectification of women?
Maybe.
Oh my god!
So all the different levels,
wonder
All
who
the
won the Oscar.
layers in this film already. It's just the opening scene.
exactly. And he's like his other scene mates are the decapitated Barbie, a dead cockroach, I think.
Yeah.
And,
disgusting cockroach.
and a wind-up ducky.
Yeah,
Like
a
a
fish.
No, it's a
like
fish.
A
It's
fish.
a- yeah, like-
Sorry.
And he's doing this scene, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and he's like enters this crisis of, okay, what's the motivation of my character? Is it well defined?
Yeah.
And all these questions that are very common, I would say, like in the actors world.
Yeah.
When you work with actors, they're always okay, but what's my motivation?
Why am I doing this?
What is the evolution of my character? And he says something like, okay, no, you're right. We need an inciting incident, something that propels our character into conflict.
He sounds like a schizophrenic, to be honest.
Yeah, the guy's crazy. He's
Talking to himself. Yeah.
And in that exact moment, it's when there's a car accident in the road that he is on, because
See,
then
and this is one other thing. I know it's not meant to be like obviously referenced or part of the story, but you think, what negligent owners? Like they never
I
just
thought
look
the same.
back.
They just leave this pet like on
I
the
know,
road.
like they never just look back at one
Yeah,
point and
just
just
keep
say,
driving.
"Oh shit, our pet lizard. Maybe we should go back for him."
I guess it's
Or
a
they're just
lizard.
like, "Fuck it, he's already dead."
I guess they assume it's dead, but it's still weird. Like
Like you're just there.
because if you have like a that kind of accident, I think you would like stop after it, because the car goes like
yeah.
off the road, and then they have to like come back, and they just fine, let's keep driving, even though the thing broke the glass thing. I don't know. It feels like they very careless people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but then they go into this kind of like almost an accident, and the fish tank where he was at practicing his scene flows through the air and breaks, and he's left in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen. One of the references that we find is that he ends up, I think it's like in the windshield of these two men.
Oh, that's right.
Who are a reference to another Johnny Depp film, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So I would guess that if you went to see this film, you're probably like a Johnny Depp fan. So they throw you that little piece of reference, like, look, he encountered himself in another film, blah blah blah. But well, eventually he ends up on one side of the road, and he starts walking. He's in the middle of a very deserty like landscape, and he finds an armadillo.
This is the moment where I actually turned to you and was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's awful. I saw it and I was like, what the hell? Like, oh my god. Oh.
Because this armadillo has been run over. Like,
yeah, he's
dead.
like
split in two.
Exactly.
Like a wheel has run through him, but he's alive and he's fine afterwards.
Is that actually like a character, or is it like a ghost or something? Because then it's fine in the next season.
Yeah,
it's like-
exactly. I couldn't really
and
work
I thought
that
like,
out.
how he was dead, like he was on the verge of death, and then he puts himself back together. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very weird, that scene. I was also like a bit like disturbed by it. I was like, ugh, like,
Exactly.
what the
I
hell?
was like, oh my god.
I wasn't expecting that.
I remember when I saw this film at the theater.
Yeah.
And I remember I went with a friend, and on that scene she turned towards me. I was like, "Is this a kids film?"
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, I have to say. It sets the tone,
really
though.
weird.
Yeah, exactly. I think it sets the tone exactly. So while Rango starts talking to this rode over armadillo. Roadkill. It's called Roadkill, and he's telling, "Oh, what happened? No, I'm trying to get to the other side." And there's this like metaphor, whether it's like the other side, like afterlife, or of course the image that we have right now is the other side of the road.
Yeah.
And he's trying to cross it. And of course, since we are in the desert, then Rango starts getting, of course, thirsty. So he asks Roadkill, where can I find water? And Roadkill tells him, you have to find Dirt, which is the name of a town, which we will eventually find out.
This movie is already so much more sophisticated than my pick.
But I guess your movie was more underrated. I think this movie is really... I mean, it's kind of like a forgotten movie more than I would say underrated movie. Like, because it did okay, I think. I mean, at least critically, it did very good. It's just like financially, maybe.
That's something that I wanted to say. I think that probably, I mean, we would have to take a look at the numbers, but I'm sure that most of people who did go and see the film were just adults Johnny Depp fans.
Yeah.
You know, because the one reason for which I wanted to watch the film is because it's Johnny Depp voicing the little lizard. So probably a lot of people went to see the film because of Johnny Depp. So probably because it did make a lot of money, but not around kids. You don't see kids dressing up as Rango for Halloween.
I was like,
only the weird ones.
It was like, yeah, I remember being sort of aware of it and like seeing posters, but I was never particularly enticed to go and see it, and it's never been like anything that I've ever heard anyone I know talk about, you know, oh, this is like this really great animated film, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess it made money but still flew under the radar somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And won an Oscar and somehow still flew under the radar.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, I think it's not even a film that grown-ups talk about.
No.
Really. It's like,
Only the weird ones.
like
the
us.
weird, artsy Johnny Depp fans.
So Rango, he gets this news from Roadkill, and he enters into the desert, and there's like this bit where he's trying to escape from Hawk, who's trying to eat him, to take him.
I thought the scene was very funny. Like at that point in the movie, I started like laughing a lot. Like, I think I laughed a lot during this movie, and it was just so ridiculous. I don't know, like because that's what animals do. Like they try to like hide and like, conceal themselves, and of course this guy has no idea about it. And there's this like weird like frog. No,
I think it's a frog. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just the interactions between the characters are so stupid, and when I don't know.
And it's something that's quite funny, I would say, is the fact that I think they're supposed to be in the Mojave Desert, which I don't know where it is. It's in Nevada. But then you have all these characters that speak in like a Mexican accent.
This is the thing, and then you have like a French fox that shows up, and like an English dude, I think. Like I heard a Cockney accent, and I was like, okay.
I don't know. I guess French is. I'm not very familiar with the Western genre, but I think there's always this representation of like French looking women.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's why they included them. And I guess like the Mexican kind of macho thing also fits into the.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Western stereotypes in the movie, and of course they need the accent. Like if you have a mariachi or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because the entire story is also being kind of told by this kind of mariachi van.
Yeah, that's right.
Made out of not hawks, owls.
Is it owls? Yeah.
I think it's owls, which to me reminded me of Robin Hood, the Disney film.
Oh, I think that's the only Disney movie that I have never watched.
Ah, really?
I've never watched Robin Hood. I don't think I want to watch it. Is it good?
I used to like it. I used to like it when I was a kid.
I'm sure I've seen it, but I can't say it was one
Maybe
of my
we could talk about this
kid.
underrated movie in a different episode.
Exactly. But on Robin Hood, there's this rooster who sings around like across the film telling the story. So I found that thing funny. So eventually it's nighttime and he goes to sleep at some kind of pipe, and he falls asleep, and he has a very surreal kind of smoky dream, where he dreams about like the like some plants moving, and it's like a very psychedelic dream, I would say. And in the dream, all of a sudden he starts drowning, and then we cut to the pipe where he's sleeping is throwing flushing water around.
Can I just stop you there and just quickly go back to like the hawk chase scene?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I have two questions to that scene. I didn't want to interrupt you while I was describing it.
No,
but
interrupt me.
Okay, so one question which I posed to you when we watched it, which was, what are the rules of this animal world where there's some animals that have like free will and consciousness, except for this hawk, and also like these, I don't know if they're like pigs that they use to as horses.
Boars.
Exact. Boars, thank you, yes. What's the rules on that?
Slavery.
And also, why... Because then at some point during that chase scene, there's another animal that he falls on top of, and then they're both running, and then that other animal eventually gets taken by the hawk.
I thought that was so funny. Like, he just dies. But we're just kind of an asshole, so you don't really care. But it's just like, he takes it away and probably eats him.
I was like, why didn't he just camouflage himself again? Why was he running?
No, because the hawk already saw him. because if the bottle came in his head and he moved and then that's it.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah,
he's-
exactly. I think
saw him.
he eventually, like when the hawk picks him up, I think he's like giving it out to Rango. He's like, you fucking. Oh, sorry.
And
Can we,
even the
have we
weird
cursed in this
frog.
podcast?
Yeah, we
Yes,
have
we've
cursed.
cursed.
The thing is, the weird frog tells him like, you can't hide now. Like it already saw you. Like you have to
Exactly.
run.
Exactly.
And then then the same thing happens to him. And then he just gets snatched and like I don't know. I was expecting him to like save him, and now he just dies. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's-
Okay. You've answered that question. Fine. I'm still curious about the whole
The rule
the
of that.
rules.
Yeah, I guess there's no rule. I guess I don't know.
In the world, there are no rules.
there are no rules.
in the lore of this movie, like in the world building, how does it work?
Yeah.
So well, he eventually after that water gets flushed out of the pipe, he tries to sip some of the water because he's really thirsty, but it's the desert, so it gets dried out almost immediately. And then he finds the next character that we're gonna encounter. Her name is Beans. And she has like this how do you say that like a card, I guess,
Yeah.
with a bunch of bottles, and they have like some interaction, and at some point she just freezes. They're in the middle of a conversation
Yeah.
and she just freezes.
Yeah.
And then like we're left to okay, what happened? And then after a while, like he tries to examine her. I think he goes and stands right next to her, like
He sexually harasses her.
yeah, yeah, in a way. I mean, yeah, exactly. Not so much in this time, but he no, I think he
Like he puts his arm
He
around.
puts his arm around her.
exactly. He puts his
Yeah.
arm around her.
It was weird, and
Yeah.
he smells her hair. That's just like what?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell?
It's kind of like a weird scene, and then she wakes up of her trance, I would say.
Trance, yeah.
And then she explains that it's like a defense mechanism, and we get a little bit of the story that apparently her dad.
See, I think I might have missed that because I was struggling to understand the with that really strong southern accent. I was kind of struggling
yeah.
to get all of the dialogue. With
Yeah,
her, to
yeah,
be
because it
honest.
is. That's the other thing, no? That it has like very thick. Some
Yeah.
characters have a very thick
Yeah.
southern accent. And well, we get a little bit of her story about her dad is not in the picture anymore. I think that's when she has the outburst that is like he asks something and she's like, no, do you think that he left? Because he didn't leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and so she starts getting worked up about it because she is obviously in denial that the dad walked out on their family.
While being, yeah.
Exactly. And then she comes back and she offers Rango a ride until all the way to the
Well,
the
not
town.
even up until the town. She
Yeah.
kind of throws him out like just outside and then travels on.
Exactly.
Kind of a dick move.
Yeah. And so she leaves him outside the city, and she goes on, and then he walks into the city, well, the town, and he goes into this canteen, I guess, or saloon.
Oh, this scene is also, I found it hilarious. Just like everyone looks at him and the music stops, and like I don't know why everyone just like looks at him with like such like mean stares. It's like they immediately like hate him or something, and it's just so awkward. And he like walks in like, and everyone's like staring at him.
Yeah.
Then he asks for water, and then they laugh at him. I don't know.
Yeah,
It reminded me a
exactly.
bit of Back to the Future 3.
Mm-hmm.
When Marty enters the cantina, and like also it's the same thing. Everyone looks at him, and then he asks for something. Yeah, it's very similar to that scene actually. Maybe they were influenced by it.
Yeah, that is true. So then he like Andres just said, he goes all the way to the bar, and
Although I did like this bit where he's like, oh, I have to pretend to be like these other people, so he kind of follows several
Yeah, that's
people
also
around.
funny. Everyone was just walking in such a
They're just
stupid way.
walking, and he's like, because he's an actor, he's trying to mimic them as well.
Yeah, that's a really funny bit. That before he enters to the saloon, he's like, okay, I have to blend in. So he starts imitating some of the very funny walks that some of the
Very
citizens-
exaggerated like cowboy walks.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
just funny to see a spider walking like a cowboy.
So he goes into the saloon. Everyone stares at him. He walks up to the bar and he asks for water. Everyone laughs. And then he said, "We have the barman." He says, "No, all we have is cactus juice."
Gross.
Gross. Which I also love, like, it comes in like a cactus bottle as well.
Yeah, and that's so stupid. And he gets like stabbed.
Yes.
It's horrible. Like he gets he throws him the bottle, and then like the bottle like stabs his hand, and he like has it like stuck to his hand for a while, and it's like so uncomfortable.
Yeah. And so he gets stabbed by the cactus bottle. He pours himself a little bit of cactus juice.
But I find it funny that he doesn't react. He just like contains it and then like he just drinks it.
Exactly. And I think he drinks a sip, and it's something fairly disgusting. And I think so. And then someone asks, "Okay, who are you? You're not from around here, so who are you?" And I really like that we have this kind of like. We entered his crisis again, and he's like, "Oh, who am I? I can be whoever it is that I want."
Which, to be fair, I did realize I think it was closer to the end of the film that I realized actually we don't know his real name or anything before he ended up here. So I thought that was quite interesting, like who he is, and for us he is Rango, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And then he takes a look at the cactus bottle, and it says "Hecho en Durango," so made in Durango, which is I think it's a city in Mexico.
I don't know. I think so.
If it's not in Mexico, apologies to all the Mexican audience that we have.
We don't know geography.
And so it's Durango, but he has, I think, his thumb on the do, so he reads only Rango, and he says like, "I'm Rango." And he picks up like this southern accent again, and people start, are you the one who?
This is also so funny. Like the whole story he invents is really
exactly, because people ask him
the
Jenkins brothers, and he says like, I killed all of them. I killed them with just one bullet, and then
all seven of them.
And then he starts making up a story of how he managed to kill 7 people with just one bullet.
Or isn't it
the last one died of infection.
Exactly. I was going to say it's like 6 of them.
Exactly.
When there's 7, he died of infection.
Exactly. Yeah. And then as he's done telling his story, this kind of outlaw, he gets into the saloon and notices this outsider and challenges him to a duel, I guess, with him.
Oh, and that part is also so funny when the tough guys enter the bar, and of course he's like supposed to be a really brave guy, so they are like, you teach him, Rango, and then he grabs his cigarette and puts it in his mouth. And then drinks like a whiskey.
That's the cactus juice,
Yeah, and then breathes fire on his face, and then slaps him with a thing.
Yeah, he's trying to put the fire out.
It's just so ridiculous, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
That's a
really
funny
gets worse
scene.
and worse, and the other guy's just staring at him. And then he hands him a gun. Like, okay, we're having a duel.
Yeah, I think it's really funny because of course you know that he is just being clumsy, but of course to the other people he's just being disrespectful.
Yeah.
He's just being really cool. I guess people's being like, wow, what a badass.
Exactly, cool,
just,
badass. That's
very stupid coincidence. I don't know.
Exactly. And so then they go to this duel, and they're ready to start shooting.
Yeah.
But in that moment, a hawk, probably the same hawk, I don't know.
Oh, is it a hawk? I thought it was an eagle.
I don't know what the difference is.
We don't know. We don't have those animals in our countries.
It's America. It's an eagle.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe it's a hawk. Did they ever say the hawk?
I don't know. I just
it should
assumed
be a
it was
hawk
a
because
hawk.
this sound they do is a hawk sound.
Well, let's go with hawk.
Yeah, let's go for a hawk.
Okay.
And then so the hawk comes and everyone just hides. So Rango thinks that it's because of him that I'm so scary that I scare them all. But then he realizes that he has to face the hawk ones more. And there's like this action sequence where he's trying to get away from the horse, the hawk,
horse.
the horse, from the horse.
That would be a very different film, wouldn't it?
How
How to get away from the horse.
No, I think that's a really cool scene. I find it funny. Like,
Yeah, going back to the hawk.
The hawk.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's really funny. I think it's like quite like action packed. And then I think he eventually takes out his gun, and I think he's aiming, or he, of course, the idea is to kill the hawk with it, but something happens and he ends up shooting like a water tower. Or the structure where the water tower is, and the water tower that has only dirt in it falls down and kills the hawk.
Which, again, my question is, what a stupid hawk. It knew it could fly away, right?
Yeah. I also thought, like, why is he standing there?
Why
I
is
guess
it sitting there?
it's a trope in cartoons where some character is gonna be like crushed by something, and he just looks
crushed,
at it
yeah.
and like stands there. Like, I think it's
Yeah, they always
that's
just
what cartoons
stand
do.
there.
They just
Yeah.
look up and they're like, oh, I'm dead.
This is me done.
Exactly. So then after he kills the hawk, people are so impressed by it because it obviously is, he did it with just one bullet, just like in his stories.
That's
Yeah.
like the Yankee
They
brothers.
take him to the mayor, who is a tortoise. Tortoise?
Tortoise or something. I don't know how
Tortoise.
to pronounce it.
Tortoise. Okay,
Yeah.
tortoise. Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Tortoise.
Welcome to our language learning app.
We can make some money out of it also.
That's going to be the spin-off to this show.
Exactly. So this
Tortoise.
tortoise turns Rango into the sheriff of the town because it says that the people in this town need something to be living. And I think in this conversation, like the mayor says, like whoever I realize that whoever who controls the water has the power, controls the town. So it's like a little bit of a glimpse of what this mayor's intentions really are.
Yeah, I think you pretty much know at this point that this is the bad guy. Like, I think they don't try to hide the fact that this guy is clearly like evil.
Yeah.
And he has the water. Like,
Exactly,
Right.
because he offers him like a special stash of water.
special water from somewhere. Like, just water.
Exactly. So that's it. Like, he's the new sheriff now. People think that now that the hawk is gone, then this other outlaw is gonna come and terrorize them. This outlaw is called Is that a rattlesnake?
Yeah, rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake. I think that's the
Rattlesnake.
name. Rattlesnake Jake.
But that's a really cool character. I thought it was amazing.
That's the that was
I was
the
just
coolest
expecting
character.
like a snake, but it's just like a really cool snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, so like after he's named a sheriff, the town discovers that they're running out of water. We discover also that like the reserves at the bank are only gonna last like 5 or 4 days. So people start panicking. And again, the mayor gets into this whole speech about like how as long as we have water, we have hope. So we'll figure it out. And then that same evening, Rango is, I think, like walking on the street and he sees these moles.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mole rats.
Wait, is it before or after this that they do this dance?
Oh,
and
yeah, the
they
weird
walk
religious
towards the pipe?
thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's before. I think it's before. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's right after he kills the snake, the
The
hawk.
hawk, I think.
Yeah.
So
I think
after
so.
he's named sheriff, exactly.
Yeah.
They do this very weird dance, like at 12 at noon or something like
Yeah.
that.
Like the whole town suddenly starts dancing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's
yeah.
very
Kind of
weird.
ritual
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and then they walk all the way until this big pipe,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a ritual that the town has, and they say that, okay, well, let's open it, and then all that comes out is mud. And I think that's what motivates us into finding out that there's a water crisis. And then okay, we find out that then people kind of get a little bit more okay. If the mayor and the sheriff says that as long as we have water, we'll be okay. We'll do that. We'll be fine. And then he runs into the small rats that are trying to look for the bank. So in his obliviousness, Rango says, "Oh, stop right there! As I expected, you're digging with the not with the wrong equipment." And he provides them with picks and shovels and all the equipment they need to keep digging. And he even gives them like a permission, like a permit to
And they clearly look like bad people. Like they're obviously like trying to rob the bank. It's so ridiculous.
Exactly. So he gives them the permit and the equipment, and the next day everyone's waking up by someone stole the bank. Someone robbed the bank. Someone robbed the bank. Exactly, stole the bank.
They stole the
they
whole
stole
bank.
the bank.
They took the bank.
Someone robbed the
Took it
bank.
away.
That's a heist.
And so then they begin, okay, let's go out and find the people who did this. So the entire town kind of like gets on to this quest to find out who stole the water and bring the water back.
I have to say, at this point of the movie, I was kind of getting slightly annoyed by the main character. Like, at first, you like him because he's like, okay, he's improvising, but he's doing good things. Like, he did take care of the hawk. Like, he did the whatever things. But then he starts really like to overdo it. And yeah, it's like starts becoming like an asshole. I remember the scene when he's just like talking about how to save water while he's drinking it because he's so thirsty. But it's like he drinks like five times, and he's like, "Come on, like these people
Rango.
are gonna die. What the hell?"
Yeah, I started to shake my head as well at him. I was just kind of like, "Come on, Rango."
I thought that was so funny when I
it's funny, but it's like it's I found a bit hard to sympathize with that. I was like, "Oh, okay, this guy is really like."
But I thought of it as he's desperately thirsty.
But everyone is like
Everybody's thirsty.
But he's using his authority as a sheriff to kind of
it's a metaphor for abuse of power.
Abusing his power.
But he does the same as the bad guy, only in a smaller scale. So he's also like guilty of the same.
Yeah.
And then I'm the hero.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
But he's the reason that they robbed the bank in the first place.
Yeah, that is exactly. No, but I guess
And he never took the blame for it.
No.
Yeah,
There's a few scenes where they're about to find out.
Yeah, but he covers his tracks.
Yeah.
It's another metaphor for corruption.
And it should come from the bad guy, not from the main character. I feel like what kind of main character is that?
It's a metaphor for how we're asking ourselves the question: who is the bad guy?
Who is the bad guy here? So they go on to this quest across the desert trying to find whoever stole the water, and they found the banker dead.
And at first he says like, and now we ride, and they like run into the sunset, like it's the super epic shot.
Yeah.
And then they come back because they don't know where to go or something.
Yeah, they're just riding, and then it's just like, where are we going? What?
that I found so funny.
That's really funny. And they eventually do go somewhere, and they found the banker dead in the middle of the desert. But John.
I was also expecting this character to like not be dead. He's just dead, and he drowned.
He drowned, exactly.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
although, is that ever like
explained?
I
guess that I don't think it is explained. What I assumed was that he was killed. That whoever stole the water or wanted to exactly whoever took the water.
There and they took him with.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they explain it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bit that really. I think it's here just to have that factor of he was drowned, because it doesn't really.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't really affect the plot in any way moving forward.
No.
I think it's just like okay. It's, he drowned.
He drowned
in the middle of the desert.
Oh, yeah, there was water. There.
Exactly. No, exactly. I think that works because that's where Rango notices like the mud in the footprints that eventually will tell him who did it. But well, they eventually find the three guys, the three rats that he had encountered before. Whoever the three people who we think stole the bank, robbed the
Stole the
bank,
bank.
robbed the bank. Sorry, robbed the bank,
Still the water.
stole the water. And they see that they carrying this big
Like water bottle.
water bottle.
But it's like covered in sheets.
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
covered in sheets, but you can see and you can figure out like the shape.
It's clearly the same bottle from the bank. but
Exactly.
you can see the inside
Exactly.
of it.
So they say, okay, so there they are. Okay, now let's do something. Let's let's make a plan to take our water back.
And they give this other character he has to do the sign. Like what am I gonna do? He says you have to do the sign.
Yeah,
I think that's
signal.
my favorite part
The
of the
signal,
film,
yeah,
the
right.
signal.
It's so
It's
stupid.
so funny. I laughed so much the first time that I saw it. I thought it was hilarious because he's this little fellow. He's like, hey, you're in charge of the signal.
If something goes wrong, give us a signal.
Exactly. So then they go and do their plan, which I guess involves making them believe that there's like a circus in town. So they do their circus show. So then we see Rango in drag.
Yep, yep. He's like, which I kind of wondered, why did he need to do that? It was just because why did they have to switch clothes? Why did he
Yeah.
have to pretend to be the woman?
Because it's funny. It's funny to see
Seeing
a
a
man
man
in
in a
drag.
dress and a male character in a dress is funny.
It's funny. Yeah. He shouldn't be dressed like that, I guess, or something in our
I
society.
know.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is funny.
Yeah. So they're there and they're kind of like making this little act for the three mole rats, and eventually they take out their weapons and they say, okay, now it's
It's a
I
good
know.
old-fashioned standoff. or something
Exactly. I
like
think exactly. Yeah, but he said something about like, we're gonna, you and your entire family is gonna have to deal with us, something like that.
that.
And,
Yeah.
and that's when the lead guy, the lead mole rat who's blind, says like, my entire family, and a bunch of mole rats come
Yeah.
out from the
Which was
ground.
honestly like a scary looking scene. It was
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's terrifying. It's
yeah.
like zombies.
Yeah, they
zombies
look like
popping up.
zombies. Yeah, definitely.
And then they go back like super quickly. Like it's disturbing.
Yeah, and in
Yeah.
that moment, the little fella who was in charge of giving the signal started
And then the
and,
smoke.
and smoke, and with the airport things
Oh,
that people
boy.
in the runway use. So I thought that was quite funny.
Oh,
And
what animal was that actually?
I
That
don't
guy?
know.
Wasn't it like a hamster or something?
Yeah,
Something
some
like
weird
that.
looking
It's like a
hamster.
rodent.
A
something.
rodent.
Yeah,
Your
it is
least
just so
favorite
ugly,
My
animal.
yeah.
least favorite animal of all. And then they have this chase scene where they're trying to take over the water, and they drive with the water, and it's like very cool. I
The
would
others
say.
have bats all of a sudden. They ride
Yeah,
bats.
that's a really cool scene. Like,
Yeah.
they have
Exploding
these
bats, by
flying
the way.
mole rats riding bats,
Yeah.
shooting with machine guns. It's like
Yeah.
it's so and there are like
It's
hundreds
very
of them.
bizarre, and
Yeah.
it's also very funny how when the bats crash into a wall, they
Yeah.
just
Explode?
explode.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
really
hilarious.
a fun. I also like the choice of music, because I think they play the Valkyries, the
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
which
right.
I thought was quite funny and clever. And so eventually, okay, they continue this chase, and eventually they find out that the water bottle is
Yeah, it's just full of sand.
of sand, and there's like, oh, what did you do with the water? No, that's what I wanted to tell you. Like, there was no water. So like the three mole rats didn't steal the water. They don't know who did.
Well, isn't it like they? I thought they did steal it, but
No, I
they didn't
think-
realize it was empty.
No. They said that when they got to
Oh,
the
that's
bank,
right.
it
It was
had
already-
already
It
been,
was already
been
gone.
stolen.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. Excuse me.
So then, well, yeah, they realize this, and I think they continue to. I mean, they come back with empty hands because they didn't find the water, and this is when.
Is it like they're all getting really like distressed now because
Yeah.
they don't have any water. And
I think this is the point where like people are just like completely insane. Like they're like
and he holds this big speech. Is this where like he has this big speech? As long as there's
The-
that sign, sheriff,
the sheriff is standing there.
is hanging there. You have hope. And
Exactly.
then immediately after he says that, someone shoots the sign down.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I knew it was gonna happen. I think everyone is like something is gonna happen to that sign. This is classic animated comedies. Like,
exactly. So they go back to the town, and I think he goes and talks to the tortoise, the
Tortoise.
cherry, the
Tortoise.
tortoise.
Yeah.
Tortoise. And this is when we see that he realizes that he has something to do with it, because he's changing his shoes.
He has golf. He plays golf. With
He's
him,
playing golf with the mayor, and he's changing his shoes, and he sees the mayor shoes that have the same kind of mud that was found in the crime scene of the banker. So he starts doing the math and starts to draw conclusions, and we see that what the mayor is doing is that he's trying to take over all the water to build this very industrialized, modern, Vegas-like kind of city. And he reminds them, okay, I told you whoever controls the water has the power.
So is he building this city? And presumably he's building this city for other animals, right?
yeah, I also didn't really get the plan. I had to say, like, who's this for?
Like, so is it gonna be like a Vegas for animals, but then it's gonna attract loads of animals?
Which-
Is that the idea?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I thought that was a bit weird.
maybe it's only or maybe for very rich animals. I guess my
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, because I had forgotten that there are also humans in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a plot hole there. There is a plot hole.
You just
Your
kind of
movie
like,
is not
oh, he's
perfect.
building
Exactly.
he's building a city. Okay, but then I'm like, but he's building a city for animals in the desert. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other topic. Like, because there's like a town with like human houses, like, but they're small and there are animals living there. So, what happens if a person walks into this town? Imagine you're in the desert and you see like a little town full of like hamsters and things. I don't know, just weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I think it's so weird when you see human buildings in the movie. To me, it was like, oh, shit. I mean, we saw the people in the cars at the beginning, but then you kind of forget. And then when you see that there's like a human city, it's like, oh yeah,
they're humans.
this is the real world. There's
Yeah,
like people,
Yeah.
and there's also this animal world, and
Yeah.
it's really
It's
not
also
very
it's the fact that
consistent.
like the town of dirt is also like everyone dresses like it's still the 1800s or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
as
Oh
well.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the old west, but in the
Yeah.
human world is the present.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
This movie makes no sense.
It's really trippy.
Mm.
So, well, then he explains his plan to Rango, and Rango, I think eventually the mayor realizes that Rango is not gonna let things go, so he summons Rattlesnake Jake, so that he comes and gets rid of Rango. So Rango is there minding his own business, and this is where the whole sheriff sign thing happens.
It's like as long as the sign sheriff is hanging, you have hope.
Exactly. And then immediately Rattlesnake Jake shoots down the sign.
And this is where we forgot to mention, like, when they were looking for the water, they were like around the fireplace, and he told the story that Rattlesnake Jake is his brother.
His
I think?
brother.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's also one of my favorite jokes in the film,
yeah, that's
because he's like, but he's a snake and you're a lizard. And then Rango says like, yeah, mom had a very active social life.
Oh, and that also reminded me of this guy who's like, I'm an amphibian. And he says like, what does he answer to? It's like a frog. And he calls him a reptile. And the guy says like, I'm an
yeah.
amphibian. And then he says like,
Yeah.
I don't remember what he answers, but he was,
Yeah, it's like a, I remember. And there's like this prostate joke.
enlarged prostate, yeah.
And this is
Yeah,
where
the
I
crow
began
is
to
like,
wonder who
you
this
can
film
sense
was
it.
for.
Yeah. He's like this
I was like,
mystical
why have
crow
you-
character who can like
Yeah.
I don't know, track down the things, and then somehow he senses that one of the guys has like an enlarged prostate.
Exactly.
That's why I was like, why is there a joke about a prostate exam in this movie?
And Hazel was like, I don't know if I would like my kid to know this.
Why would your kids? I know kids probably wouldn't know what a prostate is, but it's
No,
weird.
I didn't know that.
It's so weird.
It's bizarre.
Oh god. But then Rattlesnake comes up and says, "Hello, brother," and he forces Rango to tell the truth, to say how he lied to all these people.
Yeah.
And Rango just goes.
I found this
So,
very.
I had a problem with this thing because there's this thing about Rango not wanting to kill the snake. He gives him Rango a gun, and Rango doesn't want to kill him, but I don't know. Like, was
Yeah.
there a thing about his character that he didn't kill anyone? Like, he killed the hawk indirectly, but he killed it.
Yeah.
And
And he was also indirectly responsible for another animal's death.
yeah. And like, this time it's like, no, he doesn't kill the snake. Even though he would have solved, I mean, he would have been a hero, I guess, if he did it or something. He would have kept his reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that scene also feels like, okay, we need a
Conflict.
very tiny excuse for him to go out
That's what
of the
I felt
town,
like.
to leave the
So
town.
this guy's just like, oh, you're a liar. You're not what you say you are. And so he's like, you should get out of town. And so he does.
Yeah,
Even
yeah, yeah.
though, like, okay, so he lied about being Rattlesnake Jake's brother, but doesn't necessarily mean that he lied about everything else.
No, but I think he makes him admit that he also lied about the Jenkins brothers.
But that's I don't
But
know.
why?
it's
Why
just
does
a
he?
bit-
Why doesn't he just shoot the snake?
Yeah, that's
And
another
keep-
thing. Like,
keep
why
him
doesn't
as a
he
hero.
just
It felt
shoot
very,
it?
it felt like, oh, we've reached the end of the second act.
Yeah, we need to
We
move
need
on
to have
the
like a
third
crisis
one.
point, so
Yeah.
everyone needs to find out
Yeah.
who he is, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think that scene feels like, okay, why would you admit to this?
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you shoot?
He gives in
the
very
snake?
easily.
Yeah, exactly. He leaves town and he goes back to the road where he began.
And is this him attempting suicide?
I guess so.
And there's a scene where these owls, where they're singing or something.
And they're
like
hanging.
hanged.
They're
They're
hanging,
seen while they're
yeah.
hanging from like
Yeah,
clearly what
yeah.
looks like a hangman
Yeah,
rope,
yeah.
and it's very unsettling. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So he he crosses the road. He goes to the other side, the metaphor, and on the other side he meets the spirit of the West, which is
Looks like Clint Eastwood.
Exactly, is represented by Clint Eastwood, and he basically tells him, "Okay, toughen up, just go back and be a hero."
He gives him a pep talk.
He gives him a pep talk, and he goes back to the.
Sorry, he's not. The actor is not Clint Eastwood.
He's not the
No,
actor
it's
is
not
not
him.
Clint
He
Eastwood.
just looks like his
Yeah, exactly. It's
character.
the sign of the character is to be a reference to Clint Eastwood.
Do you think they couldn't afford him? Or he wasn't?
Probably,
Probably not. No.
probably.
Would have been cool though.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was expecting him to sound like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
yeah. So then he goes back to the town, I think.
Well, no, because then he meets up with Roadkill again, and the moving
Oh
cactuses.
yeah. This is
that's
weird.
true. That's true.
Were
Exactly.
those cactuses real? I don't get it.
That's the
I don't
thing. I
know.
kind of wondered, like, so are these moving cacti real?
This
or
was
this
very
is-
strange. I was like,
I don't
is this a
know.
dream sequence?
So-
is this
Yeah,
reality?
I was
Yeah.
wondering that.
No, I guess I don't know. I guess at some point I thought that it was a dream sequence, but eventually, like, the plants are around the thing.
Yeah.
So
around
I
the
guess
pipe,
it's
opening the
not.
pipe. Yeah.
Yeah. But well, he discovers this very
Unless all of this is just the afterlife. Like he died when he flew out to that car, and this
exactly. It's all
Yeah,
it's
well,
all
that's
an
a whole
hallucination.
other discussion.
is that's a whole nother way to read this film.
Conspiracy
Exactly.
theories.
So well, they discover like the emergency shot off valve.
Yeah, I know. They have,
Which was like very weird.
one emergency shut-off valve for the whole of Las Vegas, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so they find out that the mayor has been like shut it off so that the town of Dirt couldn't have water, so everyone could sell him property, so that then
they would all move away.
Exactly, he could move he could create this very fancy Vegas kind of city.
Yep. For animals in the desert.
Exactly. So now Rango goes back to Dirt and challenges Jake to a duel. Chan. That one of the problems for me, I think like Rattlesnake is like a really cool character. The one thing that I
it looks really cool.
Yeah, exactly. It looks really
cool design.
But what I don't know is why is he like a pet of the mayor? Like for me, it's a little bit hard to define what his motivation is for being there on the mayor's.
I mean,
command.
I guess he bought him. He promised him like, if you help me, you will get water, riches, whatever you want. Yeah, it's like a mercenary character or something.
Yeah, so like while he's challenging Rattlesnake to the duel, like the moving plants, yuccas is how they are called. They're trying to open up the valve again so that the town can have water again.
And I love this solution to the solution to saving the town is destroying the town.
Yeah, exactly, because that's the thing. Like as soon as they open the water, like it comes out of everywhere. And it destroys the town. It
destroys the town.
It
like
just made
it's completely flooded.
Exactly. It just.
Well, I mean, the town was kind of shitty, so I don't think it was too hard to rebuild. And also, they're like animals, so
exactly.
I mean, they can just live in like a barrel or something, or like I don't know.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So the water comes out, but the mayor has kind of taken Beans, and is trying to he's threatening her. So that Rango, exactly, and I thought it was quite funny because he locks them in the vault of the bank.
Oh yeah,
and eventually the vault starts flooding, and Rango still has one bullet, but in that moment Beans gets one of her attacks.
And freezes,
no, they kiss. That's the thing, they kiss.
Right.
But he has like a bullet in his mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then she kisses him.
She kisses
She's like, what is that? Like,
and he swallows the bullet, and then she gets the attack. And so he's trying to do like the Heimlich maneuver on her, and it does work. She spills the bullet, and it breaks the glass. But I think in slow mo. But I think it was so cool the way it was shown when he's trying to do the Heimlich maneuver, because like we're seeing it from outside, and it's like the mayor, I think, threatened Rattlesnake Jake, and like in one portion of the frame you see what's going on in the background. So I thought it was like a really nice way of showing visual comedy and using the frame and the composition to tell a joke. Eventually they break the glass, but before that, or the mayor has already said that Rattlesnake is disposable, that he's just a toy, and then as Rango and Beans break free, they take over the control, and then basically they give the mayor to Rattlesnake to take vengeance. And
so someone else dies in this movie.
A lot of people die. It's weird to see cartoon animals dying.
Exactly. And then everyone celebrates that they have water and
no town.
Yeah, and that is it. That is
wasting so much water.
Wasting so much water. Such a waste of water. But
not good for the environment.
Exactly, not good for the environment.
What kind of message is that sending to children?
Exactly. So I guess that environmentalists wouldn't like this movie very much.
No, I guess not.
At least not the ending.
No.
But they don't like anything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that is Rango. Now it's just the rating. So out of 10 bottles of water,
Bottles of cactus.
bottles
juice.
of cactus
Cactus
juice. How many cactus juice bottles would you give it, Hazel?
I don't know. For me personally, I think I'm gonna give it 3.
Oh gosh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I was
you
Wow,
did
you
hate
really
it.
hate this movie, Hazel.
I was
I think it was just your armadillo scene that like disturbed you so much that you hate it.
I was wavering between 2 and 3 and 4, to be honest, but I don't know. Like I really
really hated it.
I didn't enjoy it that much, to be honest, and I think it was like the animation was very off-putting, and I don't know. I'm just very, maybe it's like, maybe if I knew a bit more about westerns, or I was a bit more into westerns, maybe
You
I
were
would
more
have
into
enjoyed-
film, maybe. Like, you know, like maybe you like films.
Maybe you don't like art and, let films with several different meanings, But yeah, this wasn't really for me, I'm afraid.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough. What about
Fair
you,
enough.
Andres?
No, I think I will give it 8 bottles of cactus juice
Wow,
out of
okay.
10. No, I had a blast watching it. I laughed a lot, and I like laughing. I think the animation was great. It's weird to see an animated movie that's like doing like because Pixar and like Disney, they do always like the same style, and this was like much more like I don't know. They really took advantage of the way the way the film. I mean, they took advantage of the fact that the film was animated and to really do like, some amazing like cinematography and stuff. And yeah, like I said, it's very funny. It's full of really stupid jokes, and it's more like adult humor. And I do like the fact that the characters are all ugly and disgusting. Like I always liked the like weird like art and like horrible. Like I don't know. I always liked the Ren and Stimpy and stuff like that. It's just
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just amusing to see, because Disney again, it's just everything is so pretty and like clean and nice, and this is like the complete opposite. It's just disgusting, and people die, and like they burp, and they have enlarged prostates, and yeah, I don't know. It's a different thing, and I always like when things are different.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think I would give it also 8 cactus juice bottles. Because I think like I said, when I saw it, I really laughed. I think like the humor is, in my opinion, is like really funny and messed up, and it's not very common or usual. Again, it's very well made. I do think that it's not a film that everyone would like. I think I think, like I said, I was actually surprised that Andres liked it.
Whoa, why?
Yeah, we
Why do you
both-
have this
No,
idea that I'm like?
Expecting you to.
No, because I thought that because I know you like animated films, like Pixar films, and this is nothing like that. So I thought you would be a
But
little
I
bit.
do like a lot of different like types of animation. I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do dislike some animated films, but no, most of them I like. Like, and this one I think was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So depending on whether, if you haven't seen Rango, and take listen to this episode to see if it sounds too gross or too off-putting, and if you don't, then I would definitely say you should watch it.
I think it's like if it had been like marketed as more of an adult orientated film, maybe I'd get it more. I don't know. I think I just don't get how this was a kids film.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Like, it's not a kids film.
No, because it was
It's,
made by Nickelodeon, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's one of the studios, is Nickelodeon studios.
yeah, right. Nickelodeon movies, but it's not for kids. Like, it's
That's what
I
I
don't know,
thought.
like-
But then there's like fart jokes and stuff in
and
it.
there's like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas references.
Yeah.
Like, what kid
Yeah,
understands
exactly.
that?
Or
Nobody.
like Dirty Harry and
Yeah.
Clint
Yeah, yeah.
Eastwood.
No, I don't. In westerns in general, like
Yeah.
westerns are like a thing that kids are not that familiar with. I find, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
There you
that was our rating of Rango.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you remember at the beginning, I asked you to think about what other animated films could have come out in 2011,
Oh, right, yes.
which
is
I
a
now
hard
know
one.
that
This is a
you
hard
forgot.
Oh, we were supposed to think
a movie
about
that
that?
competed
Oh.
against
Or
this
but
one.
just take a wild guess.
So wait, so just any... Oh, but that were nominated, did you say?
No, like that came out.
Yeah, yeah.
The
let me
Okay.
think, let me
films,
think.
animated films that
Because I
came
feel
out
like
in
not that
2000.
many films.
I mean, definitely not a Pixar film if this one won best animated, because Pixar always wins if
Maybe-
they're up.
Wait, 2011.
Yeah.
So okay, I was.
Oh, God. What films was I watching when I was 14?
Shrek. No, Shrek is
Like
much
one
older.
of the Shrek sequels.
One of the Shrek sequels, one of the Ice Age sequels.
Like Shrek 3, maybe?
Nope.
Cars.
Let me see. Mm,
Cars 2.
Cars 2.
One of them. Cars 2, exactly.
Okay, it's Cars
Okay.
2. Like,
Oh,
that
okay,
movie is
so
shit.
There really wasn't
No
that...
one.
Yeah, that was no competition at the Oscars for that.
What else? What else?
Animated films.
And these are American movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were other Asian films, but I mean,
Yeah, and like French or something.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, like I mean, there are several American films. Another sequel,
my favorite villain. What is the name?
Despicable Me. No.
Speaking of me, sorry, that's the name
Hotel
in Spanish.
Transylvania?
Sorry.
Hotel Transylvania?
Let's see. It has to do. I'm gonna give you, for example, some blue characters. Blue.
Smurfs?
The Smurfs.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
the Smurfs. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
They were. Alvin and the Chipmunks,
Okay.
one of them.
Wow.
But there was a big. I think this is DreamWorks. With Jack Black,
Oh, Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
2.
Okay.
Okay.
Two. Kung Fu
There's
Panda 2?
another sequel with involving tap dancing.
Tap dancing.
Yeah.
Sing?
No.
No, that's not.
Yeah, by a little fella, furry bird that doesn't fly.
Happy Feet.
Happy Feet.
Two Happy Feet.
Happy
2.
Feet 2.
Oh.
Madagascar 3. Madagascar 2.
Madagascar, yeah.
No.
Madagascar 1.
The penguins of Madagascar?
Madagascar 4.
No. Some of the other films that came out were Puss in Boots.
Okay. Good. No wonder we don't know any of these movies. Nothing good came out.
I know, I was going to say 2011 sounds like a really crap year for animation.
And Rio. Rio was.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember anything about the movie. Just
I
the dog.
haven't-
I just remember one of the dogs because dogs are cool.
And Barbie, A Fairy Secret. Also.
Oh, I remember that movie. That movie should have gotten the Oscar.
That one was robbed.
Well, I saw this. I saw this film. I mean, I haven't seen the film, but I saw the title, Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, that's oof.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I guess this
so-
movie won the Oscar because there wasn't any other movie competing for the
I was
Oscar.
gonna say this is why it won, because it's like there was just
Yeah.
But I
absolute
thought,
crap.
to be fair, for example, that's the same year where the Adventures of Tintin came out.
That movie was weird.
But I thought that could win, or Rio, because Rio was very popular. I haven't seen it.
But it's not Oscar material. It's
Okay, I
like,
haven't seen it.
do you remember the plot of that movie? Is
Of
that
Rio, no, I don't know what it is about. I
Isn't
think
it
it's
like
about
a-
birds.
It's a
Yeah,
bird
it's-
that doesn't fly. Or
I was gonna say, isn't it like a
Boring
bird who's
movie.
like a pet bird, and then he gets, I mean, very similar to Rango, gets lets out and finds other animals in the Amazon, I think, something like that.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
it had a sequel.
I think I saw it once.
Yeah, it had a sequel. Yeah.
Jesus.
So did
Yeah.
Cars, and I'm not a fan of Cars.
Cars is rubbish.
Cars is not
Yeah,
a good
no.
animated film.
Don't watch Cars, kids.
So yeah, those are some of the films that came out on
And
2011.
explain why this
Okay, so
film won Best
garbage.
Picture.
Yeah. So because
And a lot of sequels as well. Like
yeah, because Hazel, when I told her that it won the Oscar, I was like, what? Were they on drugs?
I was just like, what?
Yeah, it is weird that he won the Oscar. Like,
But now this explains it. There was
Yeah.
absolutely bollocks else
Yeah,
to choose. I guess, yeah, this was a given.
it's not even like all these sequels are not just they're just bad movies. Like, it's not that they're not that good. Like, I don't know. I remember I saw this Puss in Boots movie and I
I
hated
kind of
it.
enjoyed the Puss in Boots movie, to be fair. I'm not going to say it's like the best one ever.
Well, I saw it in a bus when I was going in Chile to one city to the other, so like maybe that made it less
Yeah.
appealing.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
so that was it.
That was 2011 in animation.
In animation, so not,
Great
not
year
the
of
best year.
animation.
Yeah, not the best year, folks.
So that is it for this first episode of the second season of Elevator Pitch. I hope
Off with a bang.
exactly. I hope that you liked the changes that we made. If you want us to fire Andres, let
No,
us
please.
know.
Let us know.
No, I have 10 children.
I have cats to feed.
And thank you so much as always for listening. Thank you both for putting up with Rango, and especially for Hazel, who was
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
sacrificed herself.
Yes.
I
Exactly.
sacrificed several.
Let's watch it again.
An hour.
Let's watch it again, guys. Let's watch the scene with the armadillo again.
yeah, exactly. But well, next week is your turn.
It is. It is.
So do you want to tease a little bit about?
I don't know if this is a film. I guess is a film that might be on. Well, I don't know if it flew under the radar. If a lot of people remember it, but it did not do well for DreamWorks, which we discuss next week. But it's Sinbad, the Legend of the Seven Seas.
Yeah.
A truly underrated masterpiece.
So make sure to watch it if you
listen to
want to be up to date. And you'll hear us next week.
Yep.
This is everything. This is all for today, and bye.
Bye.
If you like this episode, why not hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode? And if that's still not enough, you can follow us on Instagram at elevatorpitch_pod to stay up to date with all the latest news.